Hi, welcome back to online course in spoken English. Today we shall discuss how to give locations using position words. I hope you all know what are position words. The words that tell us of the position of something are called position words. Okay, opposite, on the opposite side of, in front of, behind, next to, near, right behind, in between, at the end of, over there. All these are position words. Okay, these position words can be made use of to give the location of places, right? And we shall discuss this with the help of a few examples here. It's across the road. It means it's across the road means it is on the other side of the road. It's across the road. You will find the park opposite the bank. Okay, if you ask a person to give you the direction for a bank and he would say you will find the park. So you are asking him for the direction to park and he says you will find the park opposite the bank. It can be otherwise said it's on the opposite side of the bank. Okay, you will find the park opposite the bank or it's on the opposite side of the bank. And you will find the bus stand straight ahead of you. And I gave this example in the last class also. Okay, you will find the bus stand straight ahead of you. Okay, the mall is next to my office. And if a person wants to know where the mall is, okay, the person wants to know where the mall is and you say the mall that you are looking for is next to my office. My office is here and the mall is, the next building is the mall, right? And then my office is near the TV tower. So you are asking the person where his office is and he says my office is near the TV tower. If you locate the TV tower, it will be easy for you to reach my office. Okay, and the radio station is right in front of the library. So the person wants to know the location of the radio station and you are giving him that it is right in front of the library. So there is a library and just in front of the library you can find the radio station. Okay, and the hotel is right behind the museum and you are asking a person for some hotel, some famous hotel, and you want to dine out. Okay, dine in that hotel there. So he gives you the direction. The hotel is right behind the museum. And the office is in between the park and the school. There is a park and there is school. In between the park and the school there is the office. You will see my office at the end of the road. Okay, you just walk on this road, walk on that road, and at the end of the road you can see my office. And he can give the extra bit of information as well. The office is to the right, at the end of the road to the right. He can also give such extra bits of information. Okay, you will find the bookshop over there. So you reach that street and you will find the bookshop over there. There is the bookshop. Okay, and then right in that corner there is a petty shop. There is a small shop in that corner. I hope you understand what a corner is. Okay, in that corner you will find a petty shop. There is a small shop in that corner. And asking for repetition. Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. Asking for repetition means, you know, the person gives you information and you are unable to hear it properly and you request the person to repeat it. And how do you do it? You can simply say sorry. If you just say sorry, the person would repeat what he says. Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. You can say sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry, I didn't catch you. I didn't catch you. Sorry, I didn't catch you. Could you repeat please? Could you repeat please? Could you say it again? So these are the words and phrases that you can make use of. And then could you speak up please? Could you be a bit louder so that I can hear you properly? So these are different expressions that you can use when you want the other person to repeat the information that he has already given to you. So this is about asking for repetition. And could you repeat the name of the shop? Okay, one more is here. Could you repeat the name of the shop please? So the person, while giving you information or direction, he says the name of a shop and you forget the name of the shop. That is the reason you ask the person to repeat the name of the shop he said. And you can say, could you repeat the name of the shop please? Then the person would give you or would repeat the name of the shop. So this is how you can ask for ask the other person to repeat the information, right? And thanking and closing conversation. Okay, so you have asked the person for directions, and you have sought direction, and he has given you the direction. You have confirmed whether you are on the right path or in the right street, and you have got everything, and the information, the bits of information that you couldn't hear, you have asked the other person to repeat, and he or she has repeated it. You have got everything. You have got sufficient information to reach your location. Then what you have to do, you have to thank the person and you have to close the conversation, right? Then how can you close the conversation? You can simply say, thanks a lot, thank you so much, okay, and thank you for your help, thank you so much for guiding me, thank you so much for directing me, okay, thank you so much for guiding us, bye. You can say bye. So this is how you can use different kind of words and phrases to thank and close your conversation. Let us take two examples here. Here are two persons, one is A and the other one is B. Here is the conversation between A and B. A says, excuse me sir, how can I get to the bus stop? So the person A wants to get to the bus stop and he is asking, excuse me sir, how can I get to the bus stop? B says, go straight and turn to your left at the next cross. Go straight, turn to your left at the next cross. Walk ahead, okay? Turn right and you will see the bus stop straight ahead of you. You will see the bus stop straight ahead of you. So this is the direction the person gives to A. And after getting the information, and A, thank you sir, and he asks extra bit of information. Is it far off? Is bus stop far off? And B says, no, it's just half a kilometer from here. It is just half a kilometer from here. And A thanks him, okay sir, thank you so much. And B says, you're welcome sir. So this was how the conversation between A and B took place. So A is seeking information and B is giving information. This is example 1. Now let us look at example 2. Here are two persons again. One is A and the other one is B. So A is a man here and B is the woman. And it is very apparent from the discussion here, and you will notice the same. A says, hello ma'am, may I know if there is a park near here? So A is interested to know the park in that location, right? He wants to know a nearby park in that location. And B says, yes sir, hello ma'am. See, you can observe B is a lady here and A is the man. So B says, yes sir, walk just 100 meters along this road and turn right at the bakery. Walk just 100 meters along this road. Take this road, along this road, and walk 100 meters. Turn right at the bakery. There is a bakery. You turn right at the bakery and go past the mall. There is a mall. Just cross the mall and you will find the park on your right. On your right, you will find the park. And A thanks. Okay, thank you ma'am. Bye. And B says, you are welcome. Bye. So these are the two examples where the functional English, that is English that is meant to give directions and ask for directions, and the kind of language that is used, manners and etiquettes, we could notice all these things. So far we have discussed the kind of English that is used, the phrases, the sentences, the expressions that can be made use of in seeking for and giving directions, and how can you ask the person to repeat the information already given, and you can also confirm, get it confirmed if you are following the right road or if you are in the right street. So it also involved a few observations on manners and etiquettes, because the person one who seeks information has to be very modest, polite and humble, and the words that are used, excuse me sir, sorry to bother you, sorry to interrupt you, could you please. So all this bring out a person who seeks information has to be very polite. I do not mean to say that the person who gives information should not be polite. He need not be polite. It is not my idea. It is not the idea that I want to put forth from here, right? So what is important on the part of the seeker, it's always expected that he should be very polite, and he should exhibit certain kind of humbleness and modesty in his disposition. Let us move on to the next one, that is giving advice and making suggestions and responding to suggestions. This is a very important part of spoken English, right? In our day-to-day life, we keep giving advice to people and we also make suggestions. And when we make suggestions or when we give advice, people respond to our suggestions and to our advice, right? How we can start this? We can, just discuss one instance where giving advice and making suggestions is involved. Okay, so here are two people, one is Vishal and the other one is Kushal. So Vishal is preparing for the civil services examination and he happens to meet Kushal. Kushal is his senior in college and he has successfully cracked the civil services examination and he has been posted as the deputy commissioner in one of the districts of Andhra Pradesh. Right, so Vishal happens to meet Kushal, and Kushal he is the senior and he has cracked the examination, right? And now Vishal says, "Hi sir, how are you?" Kushal answers, "I'm fine, thank you. How about you?" And Vishal, "I'm doing great, but little under stress as I'm preparing for the civil services examination." Kushal, "You should never come under stress while preparing for such exams. You will be successful only if you keep yourself cool and composed." Right? Vishal says, "You're right, but the vastness of the syllabus scares me." Kushal, "Agreed, but no point in worrying about the vast areas. You ought to study the basic concepts first. If I were you, I would concentrate more on the elementary concepts." And Vishal says, "That's a good idea. Could you tell me what books do I need to refer to?" And Kushal says, "I would recommend studying NCERT books from class 6 to 12. I would also suggest referring to leading magazines. Vishal, "Sounds good. I find my attention distracted all the time. Do you have any suggestions to overcome this?" Kushal, "Why don't you practice meditation at least half an hour a day? It's very helpful to stay focused." Vishal, "Yeah, good. I'll definitely give a try. What's your take on joining an online course?" Kushal, "That's of no use. You'd better join a face-to-face mode of coaching. It would help you a lot." Vishal, "Okay, I'd love to join one soon. Thank you so much for your time and patience, sir." Kushal, "You're welcome and all the very best." Vishal, "Thank you and bye, sir." So this is how Kushal and Vishal discuss regarding the plan and the preparation for cracking civil services examination, right? I want you to take note of these sentences, keep mulling over these expressions, okay, keep thinking over these expressions. These are the expressions, just think on these expressions. We shall continue the same in the next session. Just give a thought on these expressions and what do they try to convey, okay, whether they are suggestions, whether they are simple questions, imperatives, whether they are requests, whether they try to command the person. You just keep thinking over all these questions and we shall meet in the next session. Till then, take care. Bye bye.